Kaoru Tono has one wish that he carries with him everywhere. And so when he's traveling to school one day on the train and he hears a couple of classmates talking about a tunnel that, if you reach the very end, indeed could grant any wish, his ears perk up. But of course, this tunnel, you have to pay a price to have your wish fulfilled. And besides, it's nothing but an urban legend. Kaoru knows that. Until one night when he can't sleep and he decides to go for a walk and finds himself in front of a tunnel that, despite having lived here for years, he's never noticed before. A tunnel that when he enters it, he realizes it's a very strange place. A place that may just very well be the tunnel that grants wishes. Things get even stranger when one day Anzu Hanashiro, a transfer student, just suddenly appears at the tunnel and says to him that she too has a wish that she wants fulfilled. And so she's willing to help him test the limits of the tunnel, so that perhaps, even if they do have to pay a terrible price, both their wishes can be granted. Hello everybody, Justus R. Stone here with another light novel review. Today talking about The Tunnel to Summer, The Exit of Goodbyes. This one is written by Mei Hachimoku. It is released officially in English by 7 Seas. If you want to pick up your own copy, I'll have a link in the description down below. This one also has a manga adaptation, which is released in English as well by 7 Seas, and it's also been adapted into an animated feature film. I have to say that this book really was engaging. This was one of those books that really had me questioning what was going to happen throughout the entire experience. And it works very well on a number of levels. First of all, the main characters are very relatable, and even though they both are seeking to have a wish fulfilled, their type of wish is very, very different. One has to do with a lot of grief, with loss and pain. The other has pain to do with not being accepted for who you are, not having a direction, not knowing which way to go in life. They're very different problems, and, there's no real argument about which is more important or the other. The simple point is that both have to do with this sense of something being missing. And that the thought that if you could find that thing, it would change everything for the better. It's a relatable message, which I think is part of the thing that makes this book work. I think it also works because the characters themselves are quite engaging. Anzu is a multifaceted character who is at one time incredibly cold and aloof, and at other times kind of downright scary, and then at other times this very sweet and down-to-earth girl. And Kaoru is this really pretty, average dude, but he does have layers that you start to discover as the book goes by. And as it goes on, you're also becoming aware that there is actually a lot more to him, and that this sort of average vanilla protag that you have at the beginning of the book, that there's actually a definite reason that exists, and that is what he projects forward into the world. Additionally, we also have some secondary characters that help to sort of reinforce that theme and reinforce the ideas of how there are different approaches to dealing with loss, dealing with grief, dealing with self-doubt, and that all of those things can end up in very different paths and very different challenges, and that you don't necessarily have to waste years of your life chasing something. You can honestly just make a change, but it may not be easy. So I really appreciated that this book looked at a couple of different avenues about this whole concept of, self-doubt, self-worth, what can we do to fix our situation? How much time do we waste that we could be focusing energy and time and joy on other things, but instead just become mired in our grief, in our doubt. Additionally, I liked how the book, it just felt like it was a very good pace. It gave enough room for the characters to breathe. There were events that took place away from the tunnel that still fit and worked because they were a part of that theme overall, but at the same time gave us much more dimension of the characters and gave us a chance to see these characters in very different situations. And all the while you are being pulled along in this book because you become invested in the characters, you want to see what will be the end of their journey, but you're also being pulled along by the mysteries of the tunnel. What is the tunnel? And at the end, even though there is a price to be paid, you just can't help but wonder throughout the whole thing, are these characters going to go ahead and pay that price? And is their wish actually waiting to be granted at the end of that tunnel? It is a really great book in the sense that the tunnel itself is a metaphor on a lot of levels, as well as this paranormal, supernatural, mysterious thing. And there's just the way that all of these different elements of the book, whether it be the characters themselves, whether it be the tunnel itself, whether it be journeys of secondary characters and everything else, that they all kind of feed back into this idea of just how much time we lose focusing on our pain instead of trying to heal and move forward. And two, like, it's very interesting because it uses different characters to sort of act as foils. You have characters that are willing to do the long game to try and fix things, and then you have characters that, well, basically Kaoru and Anzu, who are like, they just want to rush into this tunnel and, well, I shouldn't say they want to rush into it because they're taking their time, but ultimately they're looking for an easy fix. They're looking for that wish to be granted instead of making that wish happen for themselves or dealing with whatever it is that they have to let go of. It's a really good character book, and it's a really well done story. And like I said, I think that it hits thematically on something that just about anybody can relate to. The only gripe that I probably have with the book is just that the ending feels a little too, I don't want to say simple, but it just feels, the pacing of it feels off. It feels maybe a little rushed in certain areas. Like there's so much emotional weight in the rest of the book to certain things, and like I said, that pacing that allows the characters to grow and to breathe and to be multi-dimensional, that the ending at times feels a little bit rushed and maybe just a little too surface level. However, that said, I still really enjoyed this book, and I have no regrets having read it myself. And in fact, if the movie becomes available, like easy for me to check out, I'm definitely going to give it a watch because I think that it was a really good story. And like I said, I enjoyed the characters, and I think that it speaks to a lot of things that as individuals we can all relate to. So those are my thoughts on The Tunnel to Summer, The Exit of Goodbyes. I do recommend it, obviously. So if you want to pick up your copy, I remind you that I do have a link in the description down below. It is an affiliate link, and it kind of helps me out, which I do appreciate. And speaking of helping the channel out, it is a huge help if you give it a thumbs up on this video and any of my videos that you watch, because it just lets YouTube know that I'm alive and well and that I have returned from the ether and I'm doing my thing. I really appreciate you checking out this video. What are your thoughts? Have you read this one? Did you like it? Keep it spoiler free because, again, I'm hoping people will check this one out for themselves. In any case, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in my next one. Till then, bye-bye for now.